Uh, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hope so you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
Doctor.
Yes. Okay. Now, today, the first chapter that we need to cover is timing of entry. Okay, timing of entry is about how the company come and join the industry. There are few ways that you will come, you can do. Okay, either you come as a newcomer or you come as a new product. There are few ways, and normally companies will make sure that they are trying to come at the right time, because coming at the right time will give lots of benefit to companies. Okay, this is one of the timing that the company can do, which is the first mover advantage. I think I uh, wait. Let me see. Let me check. Okay, first mover advantage. First mover advantage, meaning that the company just come with the new product. Okay, first mover advantage, because in business world, we always focusing on advantage, competitive advantage. Before we proceed, can anyone share with me what you mean by competitive advantage? What is competitive advantage? Anyone? Actually, we have two types. We have competitive advantage, and we also have what you call a comparative advantage. So, what is competitive advantage? Actually, all of these are in your textbook. Competitive advantage, anyone? Want to try? What is advantage?
Something that we have more than anyone.
Yes, it's true. Advantage meaning that something that put us in a better position as compared to other. When we are talking about competitive advantage, it is about the something that we have make it in a better position to compete. Meaning to say that probably things that we have other people don't have. Those and make it we are in a better position to compete. Those are competitive advantage. And also we have a term what we call a comparative advantage. Comparative advantage is about if we have two options, okay, in both location uh, we will have advantage. Location 1 and location 2. First location, the location is superb. For example, rental very high. Second location is not so good, but in terms of rental, it is considerably cheap. To make decision between location 1 and location 2, whatever choice that you make is a choice of comparative advantage. You are comparing both situation or both location. Both actually have the advantage, but you are looking for what is more, what can give you more. So those are the competitive advantage and also comparative advantage. First mover advantage are the people or the company that introduce something that no one had ever introduced before. So for example, before that, we don't have an internet. The first company that come with internet, that they introduce internet, are first mover advantage. The company the first introduce the smartphone, those are first mover advantage. Okay, so being a first mover can offer the advantage of brand loyalty and technological leadership. So when we are discussing about smartphone, normally brand loyalty and technological leadership belong to Apple. Okay, those are the example, because those who are using Apple iPhone, they refuse to opt for Android most of the time. And preemption of SaaS asset. This also another thing that you can gain. Okay, when people no longer there yet, you can maneuver. You can try to get as much as you can before your competitors come in. And then exploiting buyer switching costs. What is switching cost? This is very basic. What is switching cost? Anyone? Switching cost. Why is that? Why is that? Switching costs, okay, normally when we have problem and we are looking for a solution, they will come with cost. But sometimes there are some condition where even though you have to pay high price, but you will not opt for another solution. Okay, for example, dentist. I don't know about everybody else, but if I am talking about myself, normally I already have a good dentist, and I know I have to pay extra, but I refuse to change. Even though I know there are other dentists that actually can offer cheaper price, but I refuse to go. So when someone refuses to switch the service, even though they pay extra for not changing the service or changing the product, that's what we call the switching cost. This is also, we already learned last week about what we call loyalty. We also learn about satisfaction. We also learn about values, meaning that when companies able to provide values to a customer, it will increase. It make the customer refuse to change. That's what you mean by exploiting buyer switching costs. And then reaping increasing return advantages. This is also when you become the first. If you are the only one, so you just imagine whatever return that you have at that point before you have the imitators and before you have the competitors, everything all yours. Okay, however, first mover often bear disadvantages too. High research and development expenses, meaning that they have to be always ahead of other people. And this is also include or uh, include the investment. And then undeveloped supply and distribution channel, meaning to say, you just imagine like Amazon.com before this, they were the first who start the online business. Okay, back in the year of 2000s. Okay, dalam tempoh-tempoh tu. So whenever they wanted to develop the Amazon.com at that point, you just imagine how difficult they have to face in order to make sure that the product can be delivered to the customer as promised. The supply and distribution of the among the channel members to support online business at that time is still not there. These are the things that they have to think about. And the moment they stabilize, actually all other people will come in and started to copy of what they're doing. And then immature enabling technology and complement. This is also another issue. When B become the first mover, we have to make sure that the company have to make sure that we have the core product at the same time. It should have all the complement product come together. Some complement may need also not only the product to be attached, the complement product to be attached. Some attachment of the new product also need drivers, softwares or apps to make it communicate. So these are the things also that make the company that become the first mover, they have to think about it. And uncertainty of customer requirement. That's why majority of first movers Sometimes we can see that they start the business, look okay, after a while it started to have problem. Some of the existing company also, they change a bit in term, they innovate in term of process, but after a while we started to see they suffer certain thing because of some uncertainty of customer requirement and undeveloped supply distribution channel. I just give you one simple example. One is JNT in Malaysia. During MCO, JNT is one of the best, was one of the best. But suddenly something happened because of this, of the supply and distribution channel, and also uncertainty of customer requirement. It made JNT now a bit slow and reported to have some issues. Same thing with AirAsia. AirAsia also have this one, uncertainty of customer requirement and also undeveloped supply and distribution channel. But AirAsia, we must remember, it is under avian services. However, we can see that they cancel lots of route or reschedule lots of trip. Why is that so? Sometimes because of this. They expect when they give like a very low offer, a very low price, actually customer don't pick up. It make them need to reschedule. So these are among things that, as a first mover, you have to think further on how to recover this. Same with crop. Crop actually is not about customer requirement. It's not like they don't have demand. But the problem is that they have excessive demand in which the supply is not able to cope. So this is another thing that we know. Sometimes we feel like, yes, probably the acceptance of customer is not really there. But when the customer started to order more, the demand is there. You have excessive demand. The thing is that how are you going to supply? Okay. So the market often perceive first mover as having advantages because it has misperceived who was first. Okay. So this is about the camera. First mover Kodak, notable followers Sony. Disposable diapers, first mover Chuck, notable follower Pampers. So we can see a lot actually. Some like disposable diaper ni memang kita boleh, even in Malaysia we can see that. Sama juga dengan ni, spreadsheet. Okay, sama juga, same thing like personal computer. But the winner always the follower. The winner always the follower. But for instant camera, the first mover is Polaroid, notable Kodak. The winner are the first mover. It's not to say that whenever you introduce it as the first company who introduced the product or services to the market, it doesn't mean that all the time you can control the market. There's some of the situation where the follower actually become the winner. They can change how the company, either the company will succeed or otherwise. Okay. Okay, this is the theory of action, obstacle to hydrogen economy. So hydrogen offer inexhaustible and environmental fuel source that could be used to power automobile and electrical grid that serve home and business. So this is, we can call the alternative energy. However, several serious obstacles stood in the way of utilizing hydrogen for energy. Hydrogen vehicle will require new fueling infrastructure. This is about complement. Last meeting, we are discussing about this. We have core product and also we have complement. Sometimes core product is there, but complement is not there. Isolating hydrogen for energy in environmental friendly way require a major shift to windmill to a solar energy, meaning that the total of whatever that you have before, you have to omit it and purchase a new one because it considered as mature technology, which were not considered as mature technology. So to the company, especially for commercial, that already invested on windmill, and they have to change it to hydrogen. Totally different infrastructure needed. Totally different installation and solution needed. So meaning to say that in order for you to opt that, the company have to make sure that the requirement for hydrogen is there. And implementing hydrogen as primary energy sources require cooperation of numerous stakeholders, government, or automakers, oil and or energies company. Meaning to say it is not a standalone job, but everybody have to make sure that they are actually collaborate together, okay, to make it happen. So this is factors influencing optimal timing of entry. How to decide what is the best time for you to enter certain industry? Firstly, how certain are customer preference? If customer need are well understood, it is more feasible to enter the market earlier. So it depends on the what we call the acceptable of the community, local community too. If it can be understood and uh, community perceive that they can give some benefit or customer feel that it will benefit them, not only satisfy but giving value, it will be a lot more easier. Okay. At the beginning when I see, when I bring again the example of Perlis cashless. At the beginning when I look at Perlis and I'm thinking that are they sure that they wanted to go for Perlis cashless? Because I always believe that, yeah, Perlis, it is not like KL, okay? Perlis, it is not like Penang. There maybe people in Penang and KL are more familiar with the technology. And I think, would it succeed? But after MCO, I can see a positive acceptance among the society. And finally, I realized that why it 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 can be that it can be accepted that way, simply because majority of people in Perlis actually are not come from Perlis, and one of income for Perlis from is from education sector, and in Perlis there's a lot of education institution. You just imagine, Perlis is small. We have Unimap, we have Polytechnic, we have UiTM, we have KUIP. And it's like every places, every corner you go, you can see lots of higher institution building. When we have people who are a society that is higher educated, meaning to say that it can be success. Because it is more about either people or the society can understand. Seeming like Perlis cashless success based on my observation because the society understood. How much improvement does the innovation provide over previous solution? This is about hydrogen. Recently, we are talking about alternative energy. So if you just imagine if the automobile wanted to change it from fuel to hydrogen, they have to have they have to modify the existing car to make sure that they have another new tank for the hydrogen. So it shows that how much improvement that is needed. Not to mention like from using electricity to solar panel. You have to invest on solar panel first before you can have the solar energy. And to have the solar panel, it requires cost. And then the third one, does the innovation require enabling technology? And are those technologies sufficiently mature? This is another thing. Sometimes we already wanted, ready to use the service. But the service actually is not ready to accept the demand. This is the same way when we see AirAsia. I know AirAsia really wanted to offer to give like better, to give a lot to the society by giving a reasonable, or I can say a cheaper solution to fly. But there are other things that is that will influence, especially from the environment, because their solution is not fully adaptable to the new environment. It's not mature enough in terms of adaptability. Why? Because the still now we are moving from pandemic to endemic. It's not saying that it is fully release of what we can do. So the services that Asia is providing actually is not mature enough. That's why they have to have the reschedule, lots of reschedule of trip. Okay, so those are the discussion that you can do. And do complementary good influence the value of innovation, and are they sufficiently available? Not all innovation require complementary good, but for those that do, availability of complement will influence customer acceptance. Like I said, smartphone, they change the port, only the port for audio, but will it affect anything else? But if it is just for earphone, I think it is okay. But but you must remember, changing the port will affect lots of complement. If before this they have the power bank, if they have other devices that connect, that have wired devices, so what are the other alternative? If they can, for example, change it from wired to wireless, probably a lot more easier. Okay, how high is the threat of competitive entry? If there are significantly entry barriers, there may be less need to rush to market to build increasing return ahead of others. There are some industry where the competitor will come very easy. Okay, there are some industry, the competitor is bit difficult to join in. Like avian, syarikat penerbangan is not easy to come in. Same thing like telco, also not easy to come in. So if it is not easy, meaning that the company still have a chance, okay, to get the higher return ahead from the other competitors. Until the competitor is stabilized, then only they will start to steal the market share. And are they increasing return to adoption? If so, allowing competitor to get ahead can be very risky. So this is, the analysis that will influence on the optimal timing of entry. There's a lot of consideration where company must think before they decide when to launch. Okay. Can firm withstand early losses? So the first mover bear bulk of R&D expenses and may endure a significant period without revenues. This is where majority of the company fail. Because sometimes you just imagine in R&D, it's not to say that one time you come out a prototype, it works. Sometimes you have to come out few times, it doesn't work, and then come back and redo and do adjustment and innovate more. There are few prototypes that need to be scratched. Okay, cannot be worked until they have one final version that can be produced commercially. The thing is that, can the company get or bear the R&D expenses? Eight, this company have resources to accelerate the customer acceptance, especially for the product that also need a complement product to come in. If they are not able to produce the complement themselves, that's why some of the company actually joint venture with the complement company to provide the product for them. For example, like Samsung, if you see the camera, why the camera is, they can pick up because they also work with another company, JV, with the Hoya. So Hoya lens is one of the best lens in the world. So is the firm reputation likely to reduce the uncertainty of customers, suppliers, and the distributor? This is also another thing that the company have to think about. Innovation from well-respected firm may be adopted more rapidly, enabling earlier successful entry. That's why, like Apple, when they announce a new handphone will be available on certain particular date, people already line up and asking for more. But if a firm that is not really accepted, is not really well respected. Even though they wanted to release a product, they have to consider lots of things to ensure that, and they cannot go like when Apple introduce new product, they also wanted to introduce new smartphone. How to compete? How to compete? Okay, all right, and then now it's about strategies to improve timing option. So to have more choices in its timing of entry, a firm need to be able to develop the innovation early or quickly. So a firm with fast cycle development process can be both an early entrant and can quickly refine its innovation in response to customer feedback. In essence, a firm with very fast cycle development process can reap both first and second mover advantage. But to come to this stage, we have to look at fast cycle development. Fast cycle development meaning that you have to have a very good R&D team. If you wanted to reap your first and second mover advantage, meaning that you have to think probably 100 step advanced as compared to first and second mover. And you have to be more advanced than their own R&D. So if the company have this, yes, they can come and do this. Okay. Formulating technological innovation strategy, assessing the firm position and defining a strategic direction. Meaning to say that the firm or the company have to know where are they, and they must know what they wanted to do in the future, what they wanted to achieve as a short-term goal, as a long-term goal. Mission and vision should be aligned. So choosing innovation project in which to invest, including both qualitative and quantitative valuation technique, meaning to say that when they wanted to do some investment, they have to do some research to check back if this is to make a comparative, which one actually can give a better solution. Deciding whether and how the firm will collaborate in development activities, choosing a collaboration mode, and choosing and monitoring partners. So we can see even Amazon have partners, Samsung has partners. There are lots of company, big giant company, okay, the leaders in the industry that have partners. And crafting a strategy for protecting or diffusing a technological innovation through such method like patent, trademark, copyright, trade secret, and so on. So if we are talking about this, that's why Coca-Cola and Pepsi can live until now and still competitive, because they are really controlling this. Whatever that they have, they already do patent, trademark, and they also some of the secret recipe never they like reveal it to people. Okay, so that's it for chapter 5.